Have you ever sat in a quiet room, maybe by the window, with a warm drink in hand, and felt that stillness stretch just a little too long? Not sadness, exactly. Not depression, maybe. But something quieter, a kind of aching stillness that wraps itself around the corners of the day. It's that moment when the noise of life has faded, the kids are grown, the work is done, and the calendar is no longer full, and the silence, once so longed for, begins to feel just a little too loud. If that sounds familiar, let me say this: you are not alone. Loneliness after 60 is more common than most people ever admit out loud. It sneaks in, not because you're unloved, but because life has shifted. The roles that once defined you, parent, partner, worker, caregiver, have changed or disappeared. And in their place is space. So here's the truth no one talks about enough: you don't have to fill that space with sadness. You can fill it with connection, with intention, with something that gently brings you back to yourself. Today, I want to share one simple, powerful thing you can start doing every single day. Something that might just lift the veil from your spirit and spark a sense of belonging again. Micro moments of connection. I met a woman in her 70s once at a park. She had this peaceful glow, not the kind that came from a perfect life, but from being present. When I asked her how she stayed so grounded, she smiled and said, "I talk to someone new every day. Even if it's just the mailman." She wasn't joking. A good morning to a stranger on her walk, a compliment to a cashier, a question for the teen bagging her groceries. Tiny threads. But together they wove a net strong enough to hold her heart. You see, loneliness doesn't always mean being alone. Sometimes it means feeling invisible, forgotten, unneeded. But every moment you choose to reach out, no matter how small, you remind the world and yourself that you're still here. Still part of something bigger. Clara, one of our viewers, found this connection in an unexpected way. Adopting a rescue dog gave me a sense of routine and companionship I didn't know I needed. He's been a real gift. That's what this is about: intention, not waiting for connection to find you, but gently creating it. Even in small doses. Start with this simple daily practice. Tomorrow morning, before the phone or TV claim your attention, take a breath, look outside, and say to yourself, "Today, I'm going to brighten someone's day." It could be your neighbor, a stranger, or even yourself. Because yes, kindness counts even when directed inward. Maybe that's the starting point. The power of giving first. So many people stop reaching out in their later years because they're afraid of being a burden. But imagine how your heart would feel if someone, anyone, reached out to you, just to say, "I was thinking about you." Feels beautiful, doesn't it? Give that feeling. Send the note. Make the call. Smile first. You'd be surprised how deeply it will ripple, especially through your own soul. Monica, another viewer, wrote, "Depression makes it hard to connect, but gratitude helps. I challenge myself by playing piano. It gives me purpose and focus." What she's describing isn't just an activity. It's intention paired with action. That's the spark. That's what shifts the ache into warmth again. A life reclaimed, one tiny connection at a time. Let's be real. Finding happiness after 60 isn't about buying something new or going on a grand trip. It's about reclaiming your days, one tiny decision at a time. Simi, who once felt so low, shared this. "This video helped. I cleaned, showered, cooked, and even started gardening again. Gratitude truly works wonders." And Rema, 90 years old, said, "I lost my husband 33 years ago. I cherish our memories, stay busy, and try not to burden my family. Routine and walks keep me centered." These aren't stories of huge transformation. They're stories of quiet courage. And it begins with connection, even in a passing smile, even in the way you speak to yourself when no one else is around. We ended part 1 with a quiet truth. Loneliness doesn't always mean being unloved. It often means feeling unseen or worse, unnecessary. And that's where today's deeper invitation begins, to rediscover purpose, not the kind you used to have, the kind that fits who you are now. Because here's something no one teaches us. When the roles fall away, parent, partner, provider, what remains is you. So the real question becomes, what makes you feel alive today? The quiet power of purpose. I met a man once, 84 years young. Every morning, he rose before the sun and headed outside to tend his garden. Not because he sold the vegetables. Not because anyone expected it, but because it reminded him that life still grows, that he could still grow. He said, "When I water the soil, it waters something in me too. And when the tomatoes ripen, he places a few in a basket and leaves them on his neighbor's porch. No note. No knock. Just a quiet offering. That's purpose. Simple. Quiet. Undeniably meaningful. Redefining what matters. For many of us, purpose used to mean productivity, raising children, meeting deadlines, making things happen. But now, purpose is presence. It's the act of noticing, of nurturing, of being available for beauty, even in ordinary things. Janet, a woman in her 70s, said it best. Gratitude and a good attitude go a long way. With Jehovah God in my life, I never feel truly alone. Her purpose is spiritual, emotional, and quietly grounding. And that's the beauty of this stage of life. You get to define what matters. What purpose might look like now. Still wondering what your purpose might be? Let's explore a few possibilities. Tending something, a garden, a pet, a houseplant, even your own well-being. Reaching out, writing letters, checking in on someone, sharing a kind word. Sharing wisdom, teaching a grandchild your favorite recipe, or passing down family stories. Creating beauty, music, knitting, painting, decorating, or simply setting the dinner table with care. These aren't tasks. They're soul-anchoring rituals. Clara, who adopted a rescue dog, said, "He gave me a sense of routine and companionship I didn't know I needed." That's how purpose works. It often comes dressed as something small. But what it brings, peace, direction, joy, the routine that grounds you. Let's talk honestly. After retirement, or after loss, routine can evaporate. Suddenly, no alarm, no structure, no one waiting. And the days, they begin to blur. But routine isn't about busy work, it's about rhythm. A melody that guides your body and mind through the day with intention. Rayma, 90, shared her secret. "I stay busy, cherish memories, and take walks to stay centered. It doesn't have to be fancy. Try this. Morning anchor, a cup of tea and a quiet journal moment, midday motion, a walk, some stretching, or tending the yard, evening calm, music, prayer, reflection, or a good book. These anchors tether you to today, not yesterday. Not tomorrow, just now. And that's where joy lives. Serving without expectation. One more truth, tucked quietly into the heart of purpose: giving heals loneliness. Not grand giving, simple giving. Simi shared that after feeling low, she cleaned, cooked, and gardened again. She said, "Gratitude truly works wonders." It does. Especially when you offer it forward. There's a woman, widowed, no kids, who shows up every Thursday at her community center, not to teach or lead, just to bring cookies. When asked why, she smiled and said, "It gives me a reason to put on lipstick." That's what giving does. It gives you a reason, a rhythm, a radiance. You still belong to this world. If no one's told you lately, you are not finished, you are not fading, you are still being formed. There are people who haven't met you yet, who need exactly your kind of kindness. And the world, it still has room for your touch, your story, your voice. So tomorrow, wake up not with heaviness, but with this quiet promise. I will show up today, even in a small way, even if no one sees it but me. Because purpose isn't about being seen, it's about seeing. your life, your gifts, your power to create light. Let's take a breath together. Not a rushed one. Not the kind you take between chores or between worries. But a slow, intentional breath, the kind that reminds your body, I'm still here. I'm still living. Because here's something we often forget, your body remembers joy, even when your mind forgets how to reach it. And one of the gentlest ways back to that joy, movement. Movement that brings you home. We're not talking about workouts or routines that feel like punishment. We're talking about reconnecting. Stretching before you even leave the bed, letting your feet find the floor with care, lifting your arms slowly as the sun comes into the curtains. That kind of movement. Wayne, 65, shared this. I walk 40 minutes 6 days a week. I stretch before I even get out of bed and drink 2 liters of water daily. Routine keeps me going. It's not about speed. It's about rhythm. About telling your body, I haven't forgotten you. I still need you. And when you move, just a little, your breath deepens. Your mind softens. And your heart begins to reopen. Loneliness can't survive presence. There's a quiet truth about loneliness. It loses its grip when we become present. When we return to this exact moment, not to the past that aches or the future that feels too far. Rayma, 90, lost her husband 33 years ago. She said, I cherish our memories, stay busy, and try not to burden my family. Routine and walks keep me centered. She's not waiting for life to happen. She's choosing to stay in it, step by step, breath by breath. That's presence. And presence is where peace lives. What you give returns to you. Let's return to something simple but powerful, giving. Not the kind that drains you, the kind that fills you up. Grace, one of our viewers, said, My strength comes from the joy of the Lord. I came into this world with nothing, and I'll leave with nothing but peace in my heart. That peace comes from giving without needing. A smile. A compliment. A loaf of bread. A shared moment of laughter. Marcia, 72 and living alone after 45 years of marriage, said, I stay busy every day. It's all about attitude. And it is. Because joy doesn't always arrive with noise. Sometimes, it slips in quietly, through the garden, through a kind word, through a deep breath taken without rush. So where do you begin? Right here, right now. Here's a simple rhythm to carry forward. Start your day with intention. 1 breath. 1 stretch. 1 promise to smile today. Reach out to 1 person. A neighbor, a friend, even a stranger. Make someone feel seen. Move your body, gently. Let it remind you that you're still alive. Still strong. Still becoming. Reflect with gratitude. Even if it's just for warm socks, a quiet house, or a cup of tea. These small sparks, they build a fire of connection, and in that fire, loneliness melts away. You are still needed. So before we say goodbye, I want you to hear this, maybe with your hand on your chest, feeling your own heartbeat. You are still here. You are still needed. You are still incredibly loved. Whether your days are quiet or busy, whether you feel surrounded or unseen, you matter. Not because of what you do, but because of who you are. So please share your light, even if it flickers, even if it's small. Because someone out there, maybe someone watching this video, needs exactly your kind of warmth today. Let's keep the conversation going. Leave a comment below. What's one small thing that helps you feel connected these days? Share this video with someone you care about. Maybe they've been feeling a little too quiet too. And if you haven't yet, subscribe to the channel. Not just for more tips, but to be part of a space where you belong, where growing older isn't fading, it's deepening. So here's to soft mornings, kind connections, and the courage to keep showing up, one gentle day at a time. You are not alone. You are loved, and your heart, it's going to thank you. See you in the next video.